My world that I want to have a little pride in. My world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can say I am what I am.
Good afternoon and welcome to Dublin City FM. You're listening to LGBTlife and it's a very special Valentine's Day edition. I'm not too sure what's special about it, but anyway, what we're going to focus on this week is Scene+Heard, which is kicking off tonight at Smock, and we're delighted to say that one of the participants in Scene+Heard is joining us in the studio today, Colette Cullen. Colette, welcome to Dublin City FM and welcome to East Wall.
Thanks, Mick. Delighted to be here.
Colette, it's a big night for you on Thursday. You're opening in Scene+Heard with Tender Mercies. Excited?
I'm really excited. It's like we've been rehearsing the play now, it seems like forever, and you get to the stage where you just want to show it to an audience, really. And we did our tech and dress rehearsal yesterday, and that went really well. And so now we're kind of nervous, but it's a bit like when you're studying for an exam. You get to the stage where you think, I just want to get out there and show to the world, really.
Indeed.
So yes.
Our play's a bit like icebergs in the sense that we get to see just a little bit at the top, but we don't get to see all of that graft and hard work and sweat and tears that you put into it in the first place.
Actually, you've put it really well, and I suppose really the skill of, I guess, of plays or all artworks is you have to hide the work, really. So as you say, obviously there's the blood, sweat and tears that goes into writing the play, then casting it and rehearsing it, and really what you're trying to do is put something in front of people that looks just totally natural, as if this character came in and the words just came out. So yeah, so I think an iceberg is a really good analogy.
Yeah, what we like to call rehearsed spontaneity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're a writer and director.
That's right. Yes.
Is this your? Have you had pieces at previous festivals as well?
Yeah. The first full length play I directed, we did it in collaborations in 2015, which was the Scene+Heard. It's called Scene+Heard now. And it was a fantastic opportunity because you're probably familiar, Smock Alley is just such a incredible
venue, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, and to be able to put on something in the main space was a wonderful privilege. And then I've had, so that was the first play, the full-length play I directed called Beasts. And then I wrote two other plays. One was called Blind Date, which I wrote and directed, and that was in the Dublin Lesbian and Gay Theatre Festival in 2015. And I had another play, Yes, that was in the festival last year. And so, but this is my first play that I've actually written and directed that will be in Smock Alley main space, so I'm really excited about it.
So you would be a good friend of our good mate Brian Merriman?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, Brian is terrific, and in fact, the first play that I ever wrote and directed was a short called Forever. That was in the the International Theatre Shorts in the Gay Theatre Festival. So Brian is a great champion of me, and I'll be a great champion of Brian and the Gay Theatre Festival. I think the standard of work there is super.
It's something. Excuse me. I've asked different people about, particularly on this program. Do we have gay drama anymore, or lesbian drama, or do we just happen to have drama that has lesbian characters, or have lesbian writers, or what's your thoughts on that one, Colette?
I think that's a difficult subject. I think in an ideal world, drama should reflect the experiences of. Well, basically, drama is about reflecting human experience, and so lesbian, gay, transgender, the whole gamut of experience. Unfortunately, I think minorities of all kinds, not just sexual minorities, we can be swamped by the mainstream. Our stories, our experiences can be underrepresented, or else sensationalized. And I suppose it's important that people get a chance to tell their own stories. But say, for instance, with Tender Mercies, that's the story of a woman called Mary Fortune, who is not gay. I mean, it isn't a gay character, but her story is universal. So I think it's great to be in a position where we celebrate you know, your sexual orientation is not the only thing that defines you.
Of course.
But I think having the opportunity to be able to express yourself, regardless of, you know, what background, culture, ethnic group you're in, I mean, that's what we're trying to achieve. So, like I think there's still a place for the gay theatre festivals, the gay film festivals, because sometimes it's nice to be in an environment where you're in the majority, you know. But also it's important that we're in you know, more mainstream festivals. So I mean, I'm absolutely delighted to be part of Scene+Heard.
Yeah. Well, I'm a firm believer in the concept, which is probably a bit opposed to the way that the Trumpists do it, and that is that our strength comes from our diversity rather than our diversity comes from our strength.
Absolutely, yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Too.
So tell us, how did you become a dramatist in the first place? Was that something you sat down at school there and I thought, Colette, you're going to be a dramatist, or did you have an influential teacher, or how did it work? How did that come about?
Not really, unfortunately. I didn't find the whole school experience very...
Join that club.
very life affirming, yeah.
I would have said very educational.
Yeah, I mean, I was always interested in English, but no, I think like I come from a working class background. I went to
join that other club.
I went to a pretty crappy school actually, and you know, where really very few people even went on to third level education.
Yeah.
I mean, like in my own family, like my parents, neither of them ever went to secondary school.
Yeah.
So like I suppose I was the first generation that would have gone to college. So no, when I was growing up, the idea of expressing yourself through drama was completely remote. I mean, I always went to the theatre, but I never thought that was something that I could do. And I had a completely other career. And then I was living in London in the 90s, and I'd always been interested in film. And so I decided to have a complete career break, and I went to film school there.
Okay, well done.
And you know, I wrote and directed short films, and I worked in Fair City for a while as a writer. And when I came back to live in Dublin, I decided, like, the theatre at that stage seemed to be really expanding here. There was lots of festivals. There seemed to be lots of opportunities to have work shown. And so I kind of thought, well, look, I do drama because I want to tell stories, express myself, and it seemed to be, well, easy. I use that word advisedly. You know, in terms of theatre, you know, you can write a piece, you get a group of people together, and you get a venue and you can put it on, and it's a way of connecting to an audience. And I found that I just really, really love it. So I haven't completely ruled out making films again, but for now, I'm really, you know, thrilled to be working in theatre.
Yeah. I have to ask you, and you can give me a slap and say, mind your own business on this one. I find, because I can, you know, I am quite proud of the same roots as you have, in the sense that we come from salt of the earth working class people, or from working class areas. But I particularly find when I see areas like film, when I see areas like theatre, when I see areas like the entertainment business, and you think, how do all these people get by? And then you discover, well, he went to Eton and she went to somewhere else, and so is it that class, shall we say, focused?
I mean, I think so. Look, it's about resources. I mean, it's very difficult to make a living as an artist in any form. And so therefore, I mean, if you're trying to, you know, put food on the table and put a roof over your head, then, you know, sometimes you don't really have the luxury of expressing yourself. But I think, so that's definitely true, but you can't let that totally overwhelm you and totally stop you doing your own thing. So yeah, I mean, I think definitely, you know, class is very important in terms of, well, in all areas of life. But, you know, I mean, that's what I like, particularly about collaborations. I think there's, I don't know, 87 new works. It's a festival, I think, that's very open, and that's, you know, that lots of people who are just starting off their careers or who want to do something different in their careers have the opportunity of actually, you know, having work staged in front of a paying audience, which is terrific.
Yeah. Tell us, Tender Mercies, what's it all about, and what was your inspiration for it?
Well, Tender Mercies is the story of a very ordinary woman, actually, called Mary Fortune. She's based in Dublin. I mean, the show is very, there's lots of places in Dublin that are referenced in the show. It started off, it was inspired really by a true story. I just read a report in a local paper about something that had happened to a woman that just really stuck with me. And so I did a little bit of research, but there's very few facts, and also I find that sometimes I think facts get in the way of truth, and I think as a dramatist, what you're looking for is the truth of a character, and so really from, I suppose, that spark of that article, I imagined the life of this very ordinary character, where something very extraordinary happens to her, and the like it's a solo show, and a performer, Denise Quinn, is just an incredible actor, and I worked with her before on my previous play, Yes, and so when I was writing the play I had her in mind, because even though the story is it's a very poignant, it's kind of story, there's also lots of humour, and it's also very entertaining, so so what I'm trying to achieve really with the play is that you spend 60 minutes getting to know somebody who maybe in other circumstances you might ignore, or you might think, oh, as nothing of interest.
Sure.
But her life is really interesting, and we get a glimpse into her. I mean, as a character, she's very open and she's very vulnerable, and I think there's something, as well as being funny, and I think there's something very. I think that's what audiences sometimes relate to in theatre. I think we're attracted to people's vulnerabilities, because in a way that allows us to explore the vulnerabilities in ourselves that maybe sometimes it's painful to look at. So we're on for 2 nights in the main space in Smock Alley.
You're kicking off Thursday and Friday.
That's right, Thursday and Friday at 6:30 both nights, as I say, we're really excited about it. The show is very, we hope, as I say, it's a serious subject, but it's told in a very entertaining way. I think the audience will be really entertained. There's something different happens all the time. We use the humour a lot. So I think, and also the other thing I think is important to say about theatre is that it's like, particularly with the work we do in our company, Home You Go Productions, we try to make it as accessible as possible. So lots of times people come to see our plays who have never been to the theatre before, or have only been to the theatre, when they were at school. And because I think sometimes people can feel that, oh, theatre is not for them. It's like the point you were making about the class point, that it's highbrow. The work we make is not highbrow. It's thought-provoking, but it's accessible, and we really want to encourage people who maybe don't go to the theatre that much to come along and give it a shot, as well as obviously the normal theatre going audience.
A couple of things just before we finish, Colette. My mate, our mutual friend Brian, he often tells me that this play will appeal very much to men, and particularly gay men, or this play will appeal to lesbian women. Is there a crossover dimension to Tender Mercies? Would you hope that you would get a good mix of the genders?
Absolutely, I hope to get a good mix. I mean, it's a universal story. It's about being human. It's an ordinary life, and anybody can relate to it. Really, audiences, male, female, all sexualities, from teens upwards, will find something in the show, will be entertained, and we welcome as diverse an audience as possible. That's who we make our work for.
Last but by no means least, you're taking it to the provinces afterwards. Tell us about that.
We're delighted, yeah. Well, Denise actually is from Waterford, and she's based in Waterford, and so we're going to her local, the Garter Lane Arts Centre, and we're really excited because it's a fabulous theatre. We're on there for 3 nights, from the 2nd to the 4th of March at 8 o'clock. And we're hoping that the show will have a life after at that as well. I mean, it's our intention to tour the piece and hopefully to come back to Dublin and maybe have a longer run. So Tender Mercies, folks, in Scene+Heard Festival, Smock Alley, Thursday and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Please come along.
Indeed. Colette, we wish you all the very best.
Thanks very much.
Or, as we say in theatre, break a leg.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Mick.
Yes, that's Colette Cullen. She's the writer and director of Tender Mercies, as Colette has said to us. Thursday and Friday this week, 6:30 p.m. up there in Smock Alley. We're giving it 5 gabonzas, so there you go.
My world that I want to have a little pride in. My world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can say I am.